Hi, I'm Gary Strigler. We do a lot of custom work for our clients, and this piece is a great example. What we're going to need to do today is install it on this wall, and the only thing that's standing between us and that is this bit of baseboard that we need to cut out of the way. Now I'm going to use this DeWalt MultiTool to make fast work of that baseboard. Back in the old days, we would have had to maybe use a recip saw or just pulled the whole piece of baseboard out, which could really make a mess. The thing I love about this tool is it lets me make a really fine cut right down through the baseboard without damaging anything behind it, because everybody that's done this sort of work knows that there could be a wire or something like that behind there that I don't want to cut. And this depth gauge is really going to help me control just how far I'm cutting through the material. Another thing I love about this is it's not going to make a lot of dust like some other type of saw might do, where you get a bunch of dust airborne in this finished house. So here's the steps we're going to use to mount this piece. First of all, we're going to stick it in place, and I'm going to scribe a line on either side that's our cut line. Then I'll tack a block right to that cut line, and we'll just run the multi-tool right up against that block, cutting through the baseboard, and we'll just pull the middle part of the baseboard out, leaving the part to each side undisturbed, which is really going to be the best thing for my client and for me. So let's see how this works out. Now, as I was finishing this cut up, I was able to leverage against this depth stop, and that let me roll the cut right up to the top of the baseboard so I didn't do any damage to the sheetrock at the top of that baseboard. That's the kind of precision that you need when you're trying to do this type of work. In the old days, it wouldn't have been a question of whether I could make that cut without damaging any sheetrock. It would have been more like just how much sheetrock damage we're going to have. Now, the last thing that I want to do is come in and cut this caulk using the blade, because that caulk is really adhered to the paper on the sheetrock. And if I just start prying now, it's conceivable that the paper might tear back like that and undo all that great work we've done so far. So I'm just going to take this stop off and run the blade on the top of the caulk, and we'll be ready to pop this baseboard out of the way and get this piece put in place. One of the things I really like is the fact that the variable speed lets me slow up right at the end where I don't go charging onward past where I need to stop cutting. Well, that's just about as good a fit as I'd ever hoped to get. It's just precisely what I was looking for when I thought about cutting this piece in. And the part I like the best is it fit, I'm done, I don't have to call any other subs. All we're going to do now is just put a couple screws down through the top where they won't be seen, and we're done.